We do have some good marshmallows today. Some great marshmallows today. Should we just jump right into them?
We can.
We can. Okay. Okay. Shade. So here's the deal. We got an inquiry, and the story is really simple. Homeboy is a young man, and he's with an older woman. Ain't nothing wrong with that, in my humble
No,
opinion,
it's fine.
unless she's married.
Huh. Okay.
So the
All right.
question for us was, is it wrong to be the beneficiary of an unfaithful relationship?
Is it wrong to be the beneficiary of an well? So actually, honestly, I can talk probably more about this than I'd care to admit. Um,
Well, if you've been in the streets, like,
it happens. So I mean, I would say more when I was younger. Certainly not anymore. Changed man, but a lot of my previous relationships have started with either myself cheating, them cheating, or both of us cheating. Um, yeah, happens. And
well, that's quite the way to kick it off.
so there's two ways to see this. There's two questions really. Is it wrong and should you feel bad about it? And there's a lot of ways to answer it. I would say ethically speaking, if it's going to hurt somebody, it's wrong. All right, that's an appropriate answer, right? If it's going to cause harm, you shouldn't be doing it. That said, and I hate saying this, but if you can do it without harming anybody, is it technically wrong? I don't think so. You're looking at me like I'm just saying the absolute wrong thing. But no, I honestly don't think that it's wrong if you're not hurting anyone. Like for example, let's say that they're trying to get out of a relationship and you happen to. So the argument is always, why can't she wait? Why can't you wait? Why can't you just let the relationship naturally die? Well,
Why can't you just leave the person and put them out of their misery and be honest? Yeah, that's the question.
well,
Go
so,
on and answer it.
so sometimes there's what is the word? Mitigating circumstances? Is that mitigating?
Go ahead.
Is that
Mitigating
correct?
circumstances. You hit it on the head. Like.
So, for example, with one of my exes, no names because we're not going to do this right now, but she, when she was with her boyfriend, was on a lease with her boyfriend, and they couldn't just simply leave. They couldn't leave their apartment. She had to finish out the rest of the year, which was like 6 months. But she had completely fallen out of love with her boyfriend. She found him to be verbally abusive and just not a healthy situation for her. And they basically weren't together. But in a way, they were because she wouldn't break it off because she was too afraid of what would happen in the meantime. Not to say that he was going to do anything, just she knew that for herself it would make things more complicated. Now, as I look back on it now, I'm like, I don't know, that wasn't really the best way to go about it, but we were young and we didn't exactly know what we were doing. We were just kind of figuring it out as we went along, and we were trying not to hurt anybody, which was mostly successful. Again, looking at me like I'm absolutely crazy.
I'm sitting behind you and you keep looking back at me for like verification or like clarity or something. Like, big dog, I can't get you out of these deep waters you're swimming in. I'm not throwing you no life raft.
Look,
talk yourself to shore. Like.
So for all the people now who have completely and entirely lost respect for me,
I mean, I don't think it's that. All right, I'll throw you a life raft. I don't think it's that. I think that, like you just said, we were all young. And so you were young and you did what you did. Now, I will say this much. You admitted to being young earlier, but then you asked something about.
If it's not hurting anybody, is it wrong?
So obviously you felt like it was wrong.
You
Because it
know,
didn't hurt anybody
by
in this
that
situation.
point, I didn't feel like it was wrong. It felt like what I wanted to do and what she wanted to do.
Oh, yeah, in the heat of the moment, it always does. But, trust me, I'm sure it did feel. I shouldn't say all that.
Yeah, it felt like something. You're not wrong.
No, I was gonna say no. It probably did feel great, right? But at the time, but I don't know. How do you feel about it now? Like, if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, would you be like, "Hey, man, you could, go talk to a girl that's not in a relationship, and not just be a homewrecker in the sense of their relationship, but even in the sense of the
But
respect
you know what?
for
So
yourself."
here's the other
You know?
thing. Okay, respect for
Like,
yourself. And
I'm not a boy. I'm not
there I
a backup
agree.
quarterback. I'm a starter. Like,
Right.
I score touchdowns. Like, you feel me? Like,
There I agree. It's like when I look at it personally, it honestly affected me in a lot of negative ways. It really brought me down because I never really was able to fully trust her. Now that I would say was a limitation in myself, not necessarily anything on her, but it basically did ruin the relationship. It was hard to trust.
because
and-
you knew that she had done that to him and she could do it to you, or
It's not so much that she could do it to me because I don't think that she would have, but just that I didn't know what we were really based on. Were we based on passion? Were we based on love like we said we were? Was it this? Was it that? And it was pretty much just impossible to gauge because the entire time we were just being sneaky. So, I don't know. It was kind of just difficult situation to read. But oh darn. I was going to say something else that had the opposite to go with that as well. I would say that while I personally feel bad about it, it's like if that's what they want to do, right? That's what consent is all about too. Is like, did they want to do that or did they not want to do that? And I wasn't in a relationship at the time. So me personally, I didn't necessarily feel like I was doing something wrong other than maybe encouraging the situation. But would I go back and do anything differently? No. I would probably do the exact same thing because it wasn't really my decision to do something wrong. It was just this was a person that I wanted to be with in whatever way she decided to go about it. Not to say that it's her fault. It's not. That's what way she decided to go about it and what she decided to do with me. Like it goes both ways. But like I can't blame myself for how I felt, or I can't also blame her for how she felt and what we both decided we wanted to do. If that makes sense. And I don't feel wrong for that.
yeah, no, that makes perfect sense to me. I will say one
When I
thing.
finish this bottle of wine, I'll tell you.
You say go on and take a couple sips, because I'm gonna put you right back on the hot seat.
No.
He is asking about marriage. Do you feel the same way about marriage as you do a relationship?
The sanctity of vows and legal obligation.
And legal obligations. Good grief, boy.
That's true. That's a good point. That brings to me the understanding of, do I even believe in the institution and sanctity of marriage? And I would say, honestly, I don't. That might be a really unpopular opinion, But I feel like a lot of what we understand marriage as, at least here in America, is not necessarily a real, healthy, viable relationship. If you look at it from a religious perspective, marriage is an agreement between you both and God. If you look at it from a legal perspective, it is an agreement between you both and the state or the government in some way. It's an obligation between two people, that's what your vows are, to, I guess, what, stay together is the main idea, is to be a partner.
Till death does you part, baby. Till
Exactly.
death does you part.
Exactly. But I can't say that I've seen the majority of relationships that are marriages be that way. Some are. Some definitely are, and some people knock it right out of the park. But from a cultural perspective, we've had every kind of marriage that there is in America. And without knowing what's going on behind the scenes, we don't know if there is any sanctity to their marriage. I know that's kind of dodging the question a little bit, but it depends, is my answer. Do they have a real marriage, and are you, like you said, wrecking their home? If that's what you're doing, I can see how that might be wrong. If you're ruining a relationship that's founded in no love, is it even really a relationship to ruin?
Excellent points. Excellent points. So I'm gonna say this, and I know it's the I know this might be the unpopular take, just a touch, but if you if someone asked you, hey, what do you want to hear us talk about on the podcast tonight, and then you start spilling your soul what it is you're doing and what it is you're going through, and I like I said, I think that between you and me, I think you feel bad about it. I think if you do feel bad, I think that there's no reason to do what Shay did and just took, would you take 11, 12 minutes to justify? I think if you feel bad about it, you just shouldn't do it. Like, that's what I think. I think that if it's stealing your peace, I think if it's taking away from you, if you don't feel bad about it, then you don't feel bad about it. Like,
I think that's a good point.
but if it's
honestly.
taking your peace, like if there's a party that's like, dang, or even fun fact, if it's taking your peace in the sense like, oh, homie might, pull up on me, like, is it worth it? Like,
Yeah, it's a good point.
should you be doing it? There's a lot of single fish in the sea. You don't have to be going after someone else's fish. And like I said, for me, it's a thing of self-respect. I'm a starting quarterback. I get first downs and I score touchdowns. Like, I run and I throw. But the point is, I don't sit on the bench until called on. Like, that's not who I am.
You see,
So,
I prefer to see it as I'm a star base runner in the MLB. And sometimes you steal bases.
you said you're a pinch hitter. Like,
God, no,
they
that
pull
is
you-
not.
I mean,
that's
a pinch,
not the way
not
to
a pinch
see it.
hitter, a pinch runner. Like, someone's on first base, they bring you on, and they say, "All right, big fella, you can go around these bases for us." Like, you said, you see yourself.
No, that's definitely not the way to see it. No one listened to me.
Look, I'm not mad at you at all. But like I said, it's like I said, it really just depends. If you're comfortable with it and she's comfortable, or he or whoever is comfortable with it, then by all means, like Shade, you said, consent is consent, and if you got it, you got it. Like, two adults, uh, it don't matter. if you're in a relationship, not in a relationship, man, woman, woman, man, 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 woman, woman, whatever, wherever you could be, two adults that consent, 18 and older adults, uh, human adults, like I can't.
Yeah, human adults
That's good.
unfortunately is an important distinction.